Ciao, and welcome to week 21 of The Sweetest Kind of Death, the illusion of voice without roots. Leaving Morgan Stanley felt like jumping from a plane with no parachute, but a lot of confidence. I wanted independence. I wanted to prove that I could stand on my own, without the shadow of the suits and the structure. So I joined Inner First Capital in Santa Monica, set on earning my wings. And with my youthful ambition and maybe some arrogance, I decided to use my father's talent as my launchpad. He had been a master with words, a lion with the pen, and the microphone. So why not me? Why not take his stage and make it my own? So I quickly launched a daily radio show on an Iranian station, reviewing the financial stock news and the markets in the morning and the evenings, teaching finance in Farsi. And that's when it happened. The first time that I went on air. My body betrayed me. My hands were clammy. My throat was tight. Translating financial terms into a language that was supposed to be mine, but wasn't truly mine. It felt like lifting weights that I had never trained for before. And then it happened. As I spoke, I saw the radio attendant duck behind the glass. His head dropped. I froze. I thought that I had said something wrong, something foolish. My mind spun. My father's name hovered over me like a weight. And then silence. 10 seconds of silence. 10 seconds on air is an eternity. 10 seconds on air feels like years of rain washing away the field of dreams you had just planted. And in that silence, I thought my career had ended before it even began. But something inside of me clicked. I came back. I apologized to the listeners by name as the son who let them down. I took full responsibility and I kept going. That was the day that I learned. Voice without roots is fragile, but vulnerability can replant it. So, by the end of 1999, I was working the daily show, radio in the mornings, financial planning during the day, building families' futures through different products such as ING's variable annuity with a guaranteed death benefit. I had become a marketing director and I had moved back down south to Orange County and started working for Aragon Financial Services, creating strategies that reshaped how we engaged our community. The voice that stumbled had grown steadier, and it was leading me back, not just to career, but to family. And that's when the return to Iran happened. December 31st, 1999, Y2K was looming, the air thick with rumors of a digital doomsday. Computers crashing, banks failing, planes grounded, but my heart wasn't thinking about anything, especially a computer. It was pulling me home. My brother was getting married, and that was my dream to be at his. After years of exile and absence and oceans, I returned to Iran. The air smelled the same, but everything else had changed. My childhood home felt smaller. My childhood friends were gone. Mamat, Olam, they were gone. But I went searching and I found their old home and I spoke with their families and I sat reflecting, remembering. And later that same evening, they came searching for me, ringing doorbells across town, searching, pounding on each door, wondering when did I return. And they found me. It was like years collapsed into seconds. Hugs, tears, laughter. It was amazing. Childhood friends that I hadn't seen. People that I only remembered through visions and letters. I told them I'd be back next summer. But I never returned. Politics, distance, life, all of it played a role. And now, nearly 26 years later, I still feel that sentence echo inside of me. So here is the reflection or the mirror of this chapter. This is the illusion. Voice without roots. You can put on the suit, you can buy the microphone, you can run the ads, you can even create clever products. But if your voice doesn't grow from your roots, your story, your scars, your truth, it will all falter. It will freeze. The silence on the radio show taught me that. The reunion in Iran taught me again. Voice isn't just words, it's connection. And connection requires roots. So, how does my definition of love reframe voice in this way? When you look at love through leadership, through stewardship, voice isn't about showing off, it's about the stewarding of truth. When you look at love through opportunity, through creativity, translating finance and different financial terms into Farsi wasn't about perfection. It was about creating a bridge. When you look at love through a vision that unites, voice is a tool to unite cultures, families, and even generations scattered across oceans. And finally, when you look at love through empowerment, which leads to enrichment, voice empowers when it's vulnerable. It enriches when it's rooted. And in the bank of time and trust, voice is a deposit only when it comes from the roots. False voice is counterfeit currency. Rooted voice is currency. So here is the practical reflection. Your mirror. Where are you speaking without roots? Where are you performing words instead of embodying them? Where are you putting out noise instead of truth? Your voice doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be planted. So here is your kill move for this week. Step 1, identify one area where your voice is unrooted. A conversation, a job, or a role. Step 2, reconnect it to your truth. Admit the fear. Share the scar. The root, it's in the story. Step 3, within 48 hours, use your voice vulnerably, not perfectly. Step 4, record it as a deposit because rooted voices builds trust. And here is your candle for this week. Words without roots wither. Words with roots endure. Ciao, and we'll see you next week.